Wrestling fans, I'm Dan Marty.
And I'm Mr. USA WWE Hall of Famer, Tony Atlas.
Tony, I don't even have a watch on, but I know it's got to be Tuesday night at 9 o'clock, baby.
9 o'clock Tuesday night. I'm ready to fight all night. Right? Boom, boom, boom.
A brand new Wrestling Insiders is next. Stand by.
Wrestling fans, the 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive explodes into Christmas with 12 featured superstar guests. We can't bring you a live wrestling event due to COVID restrictions, but we'll be bringing you a series of cyber signings and meet and greets. On Friday night, December the 4th, fans around the corner and around the world can join a man involved in an intercontinental title scandal as Savio Vega, as well as the man under the mask, is martial arts expert Quang, joins us for a live cyber autograph signing here at MWF Studios. Get a personalized autograph photo from Savio, signed live on the air and mailed to your home. Join us now through mid-December as the superstars help us continue our mission to update Santa Claus's GPS to find every kid's house this Christmas and put smiles on faces while honoring Paul Bearer's memory. VIP packages are still available. Don't worry, if you've missed a live superstar signing, every star is signing enough photos while they're here in Boston to fill VIP packages through December the 19th. Whether for your wrestling collection or to give as a holiday gift, if you're going to take part in any toy drive this year, please help our 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive. Visit BostonWrestling.com and our social media platforms for complete event and toy drive information.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
All right, wrestling fans, welcome back to Wrestling Insiders. I'm Dan Marty, joined by Tony Atlas, as we continue our great debates, discussions, thoughts, histories, memories, legends about the king of sports professional wrestling.
Yes.
Tony. Tonight we're going to talk about one we began on, if you remember when coronavirus first started, you and I couldn't get together in person, so we were doing almost telephone podcast-style versions of this show.
Yeah, but you got to see my home.
Well, no, that was after the fact. After we get tired of
talking
talking
about
on the
yeah,
phone,
you had to
we
figure
came
out.
up to Atlas Estates
Yes,
up on
yes.
Millionaire Boulevard in Auburn,
Millionaire
Maine.
Boulevard, baby.
Do you remember the conversation we had about Alberto Del Rio, Tony?
No, but I hear some news about him. I don't know the full story. I just hear some brief conversation about him.
Well, let me
That he getting ready to go to penitentiary or somewhere?
There could be a lot of trouble for Alberto, believe me, Tony. The 43-year-old was indicted on 4 counts of sexual assault and 1 count of kidnapping, stemming from a May incident involving a former girlfriend. He wanted the girlfriend to admit she was unfaithful to him. He slapped her twice.
You talk about Paige?
No, this is a different woman.
Oh.
This is a different woman he abused. He took her upstairs, he slapped her 8 more times and joked her out, he ordered her to dance for him. She refused to dance. Then he threatened to take her infant son and drop him in the middle of the road somewhere.
Oh.
For approximately 4.5 hours, Del Rio tied her hands, put a sock in her mouth, and sexually assaulted her for hours using his penis and other objects while punching her in the back while doing so.
Oh, my goodness.
The charges: aggravated kidnapping. They could land him in prison from 5 to 99 years. Tony, your thoughts on Alberto Del Rio certainly using his penis and other objects to violate this woman? That's some heavy stuff.
I don't know if any of that is true. I don't know. But if it was my daughter, he would never make it a trial.
What would you do?
He had to meet his maker. He would meet his maker. If anybody ever done that to my daughter, he would meet his maker. But that's sad news. Here's a guy that was given the world. I mean, the WWE built this guy into a mega superstar. They invest so much money into this person, and to go that route is almost like spitting in the face of everybody that ever tried to help him. Now I'm nobody to talk. Okay, I have.
You violated women with your penis and other
No, but I have
objects?
did things to hurt those that try to help me. But to do that to another individual, you know, especially, you know, it don't matter if it's done to a man or a woman. It don't matter who the gender is not important. But just, you know, have that lack of empathy for another human. And like you said, she was his girlfriend. So here was somebody that gave him love, and he gave her abuse, torment. You know, physically, if you punch me in the nose, the next day, the pain go away. But when you emotionally and abuse it, to physically and emotionally abuse a woman like that, they never forget that.
No.
This girl probably would never date a man again. I had this one girl, I'm not gonna call her name, but she told me the story. And she was a lesbian. And
Yes.
I said, yeah, lesbian is like, you know, gays, they're born that way. She said, not me.
She chose to be a lesbian.
She chose because she was with this guy. He was a biker. And not only did he beat her and abuse her, he passed her around to the other bikers. So he emotionally destroyed this woman on the inside, where she didn't want anything to do with a man ever again.
Wow.
I mean, but she said she was really into guys. She dated all through school, all through high school, never had no problem, never thought about being with another woman. But she said after living with this one guy now, a biker, he was a member of some gang out in California. She was from California. And she told me the story one time, we were traveling together. And she said, that's why I can't be around any man. She liked me because all I wanted to do was walk on it. You know, that was all right with her. But like if I had tried to get close to her, or
she didn't want that.
Yeah, she said she could not get close to any man, and she fixed herself so that she can't have kids. I said, why you don't want to have kids? She said, I'm afraid I'm gonna have a son, and I'm not gonna love him.
That's a scarred woman.
She said, I'm afraid I'm gonna have a son and will be unable to love him because he's going to grow up to be a man.
That's a scarred
So this woman, what he did to this woman, if it's true, I don't know, if it's true, he has scarred this woman for life. And it don't just stop with the woman, the mother of that child, the father of that child, the brothers and sisters, aunts, uncles, and cousins, and anybody that is related to this woman will carry that pain. See, when you do something to somebody else, the hurt don't just stop with that person. You know, it goes through that whole family. Everybody that is related to this woman that he abused get hurt from that. And if she got kids or something, her daughter, her kid, they're all going to be scarred for this.
Well, as noted in these notes, Tony, this woman would not perform these sexual acts, he was going to take her infant son and drop him in the middle of a road somewhere, he said, which I think is probably the most disturbing of all. Could you imagine
a child, talk about taking the life of a child.
Taking a little kid and just putting him in the middle of the road, in the middle of the night.
For your own selfish gratification. If that's true, he should be put away.
How long? It says 5 to 99 years. Can he be rehabilitated?
No.
No.
No. It's like telling my friend Rick, I'm going to rehabilitate you for being gay. It's like telling Tony, I'm going to end your foot fetish.
It's like trying to tell Cecil you're going to rehabilitate him for being a liar.
But this stuff is in the head.
Yeah.
You know, it's in the head. A rapist can't stop raping. A child molester cannot stop molesting kids. They can't.
That was the point that I made during the whole Marty Jannetty situation.
Well, they can't. They can't stop. They are mentally... See, years and years ago, the government pulled a lot of funds out of mental illness. They put a lot of funds out of it instead of putting money into. You know, every time there's a shooting, there's two sides of the story. I'm more for the Republican side of the story. We need to address mental illness
Like
in this
with
country.
Dr. David Reeves.
Right, but
Yeah.
what they want to do, they want to focus on the gun. Well, you can focus on the gun all day long, but you still got this crazy person. If
Even if the crazy person doesn't have a gun, they could find another object.
He found another object. This guy,
Like Alberto.
he's a killer.
Yeah.
Or he going to find another way of killing. A child molester, you take him out of the neighborhood, he going to find another way of satisfying his gratification. It in him. It take a mental. You have to invest money into mental illness. From what I see, he's mentally ill. He probably got enjoyment out of abusing her. Otherwise, he wouldn't do it.
Beating this woman?
Any woman, he would do that to her. And not just that woman. If that woman had kept her mouth shut and not told, it's kind of like the Bruiser Brody story. If I had kept my mouth shut, wouldn't nobody knew what happened. Sometimes people, when you see these incidents, and you see this behavior in a person, it should be reported. When he abused the first woman, because if he done that much to a woman and is that abusive and fight that way about a kid, that's not his first time.
Right.
This is not his first rodeo.
That's the way I look at it.
I mean, he's a full-grown man. He
Yes.
probably started this behavior back in his childhood, but people just kind of overlooked it and really didn't, or people, like a lot of abused women, they are ashamed.
Yeah.
They feel that they are at fault in some type of way. They feel they brought it on themselves. And a lot of abused women are ashamed to go out and tell the story. I think on Boston Wrestling, I was abused. I got saved both times. The first time, I don't know if I told this story or not, but it was the Big Brothers of America. And this guy came by, he was a member of the Big Brother. So he's going to take all of us kids fishing. So we out fishing. We didn't have a father. My father was gone. So he took all the boys. He didn't take my sisters. He just wanted the boys. So we out fishing. And he said, hey, it's hot today. You want to go skinny dipping? Well, skinny dipping where you take all your clothes off and you jump into the water. He said, we ain't catching no fish here. He said, let's cool off and get in the water and go skinny dipping. So I get in the water, I come skinny dipping, and I kept jumping out. My brother Charles said, what's wrong? Fish. They're biting my pee-pee. He said, there's no fish out there, Tony. I said, yeah, the fish keep biting my pee-pee. So my brother said, oh, come on. He said, I go in the water with you. So he took my hand, he went in the water with me. And I go, oh, there you go again. So my brother started walking in the water, kicking the water. Kicked him in the face. He was going under the water, putting my private in his mouth. I thought it was a fish doing it, you know? So my brother pulled me out the water. He said, let's go. So he told my other, it's 5 of us. So he told my other 3 brothers, let's go. He's funny. We used to call gay people back then funny. So he was funny. That's what that was the term. Yeah, gay back in my day mean happy. It didn't mean homosexuality. It mean happy in my day.
Was the term. Yeah.
Now happy. Now it mean homosexuality. But anyway, I went home. So one day we're out in the yard playing, and here he come again. My brother saw him, and they all take off running away from the house. Me, I didn't know where to run, because I was the last one to see it, so I ran in the house. So he saw me going in the house. He's going to knock on the door, boom, boom, boom. There. I come to take your boys, we're going to go hiking to get them used to nature. And my mom said, well, I don't know where they went. They was out in the yard, and then she looked at me. She said, Tony, come here. I go. She said, you hear what I said, boy? Come here. I go. My mother said, you want me to put a switch to you? Well, come here. So finally she said, my mother's smart, so she saw there was something wrong. So she pulled me back in there. She said, let me talk to him. She pulled me back in the kitchen. She said, what's wrong? I said, Mom, he's funny. She said, did he mess with you? Yes, ma'am. He touched my pee-pee. My mother went underneath her mattress, pulled out her .38, put it behind her back, and walked to the door. She said, look, I want you to leave my boys alone. I don't want to catch you by right here no more. And he saw me peeking through the kitchen door and kind of like he wanted to go at me. And my mother said, I told you, I don't want no trouble. Now you get away from here. And she let him see the gun. He took off, never came back. The second time that happened to me, I was walking, we were in Covington. This was in Lowmore. The first incident in Lowmore, Virginia. The second incident that I had with that was in Covington, Virginia. And my brother and us, we was going to walking downtown. We all going out looking for little jobs, And back in them days, to help, everybody had to help out. So we go find these little jobs, and then they give you $1 or $2, or if it's a grocery store, they give you a bushel of potatoes, or they give you a couple of bags of beans, or a slab of bacon. Back then, you buy that little bit of bacon, what you got, about 10 slices of bacon in it. Back then, when you got bacon,
they gave you a big slab.
It was a
of this
big
bacon.
slab of bacon. You had to cut it, you know what I'm saying? So you get that bacon, you had bacon all week. So I wanted that slab of bacon, so I knew exactly who to go to work for to get a slab of bacon. I had to work all week for it. He didn't give it to you that day now. At the end of the week, you had to earn that bacon. Yeah. He didn't just, take the bacon, Tony. So I had to stop to tie my shoe. Well, my other brothers didn't want to wait on me because they told the people they're going to be there at a certain time. And in Virginia, being prompt, in the country, folks, being prompt is everything. If you're not prompt, your buddy will have the job next week because they had a business to run. You couldn't be late. So I just stopped to tie my shoe. This car pulled up. The guy said, hey, you, come over here. That's me? He said, yeah, you, come over here. So I came over there. He pulled out, probably fake, probably was, a police badge. He said, what's your name? So I told him my name. He said, well, I'm looking for somebody that fit your description. He said, I got to take you downtown. I said, well, can I call my brother first? He said, no, you come on here. He said, don't give me no trouble. He said, I told you, come on here. He said, you get in the car here. So I got in the car with him. I started getting in the back. There's a police car, so I started getting in the back. He said, no, you get up front here. So he get me up front, and we started driving. Now, downtown is this way. He going toward that, and then he cuts off and go up this dirt road. No. I said, where are we going? He said, well, our witness live up here, the one that could identify you. I said, all right, let's go, because she's going to tell you it wasn't me. Whoever did it, it wasn't me. I kept saying it wasn't me. He said, come on, we got to walk through the pass here. So as soon as I got out of the car, I started walking through the pass, wham! He sucker punched me, knocked me down. He started to try to pull my pants off. And I started fighting back. Wham! It hit me again. Went, pulled my pants off. Then all of a sudden, he got my pants off. And he took my pants and threw them. Now I'm sitting there with no freaking pants. And then he exposed himself to me. Then he said, I'm gonna beat you real good if you don't go along with this. And as soon as he said that, I hear whack, whack, whack. My brother Noise must have followed. He must have knew this guy, because he's my oldest brother. He had broke a limb off a tree. How I know he broke it off the tree? He still had the leaves on it.
Oh, wow.
See, when limbs fall off a tree, the leaves normally die.
Right, yeah.
But these was fresh green leaves. So he broke a limb off a tree. He probably, the adrenaline was so strong. And he would beat this guy with this freaking, he telling me to run, run, run. Now picture me, 11 years old, and I ran all the way home with no pants. My grandma said, boy, where your britches? Where your britches at? Now, I didn't tell nothing to my grandma. I was ashamed. So my mom came home, my brother told, she said, I'm gonna take you to the doctor. Did he do anything to her? I said, no. I said, he tried. So the doctor said, no, he was not touched. So I had two experiences like that as a child. I told it to Scott Teal to put it in my book. He never put it in the book.
I think that's a shame.
He never put that in the book. But I wanted that story in the book.
It's not exactly a happy story, but it's part of your life.
But he said no. He said I don't like that. He said I don't want to write about that. I said, well, maybe it can help some other kids to just be leery of strangers and to speak up. If I have never spoke up, I always look back on that. When that first incident happened, if I had never spoke up, that guy would have took me to the Roars, and he would have ruined me for life. Remember, I was like 7 or 8 years old with the first incident. So you imagine what a full-grown man, the size of a full-grown man, could do to a 6-year-old boy.
Kid, yeah.
I mean, he could have ruined me for life back there, you know. And then they put so much fear in people. Cause the second one, he just beat the shit out of me. I mean, my face looked like a freaking pumpkin.
Wow.
He only hit me twice, but my whole freaking face was rolled up.
And you think about what could have happened if Alberto took this little kid
That's
and
what I'm
just
thinking,
left him in the middle of a road. He probably would have been, you know.
Yeah, so I got no sympathy for people that abuse
He would have
women.
been part of the pavement.
Yeah, people that abuse women or people that abuse kids and people that abuse animals. I just can't because I was a victim of it. I was sexually assaulted at 7 by a pervert, and I was almost sexually assaulted, but was physically assaulted by another grown-up. And believe it or not, them 2 incidents got me into training.
And it turned you into Mr. USA.
Yep. The first thing I did, I went down the following year and I joined the police athletic league and I boxed. I was a boxer. You know, learned how to use my hands. Then when I was in the 7th grade, I got on the wrestling team. For Jefferson High School, I wrestled what's called junior varsity, JV. And I stayed on the JV team. When I used to go to the Y, a lot of people don't know this, not only was I'm on the weightlifting team at the YMCA, I was on the judo team.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
I took boxing, wrestling, and judo.
You could have been an MMA star.
Well, every day I worked on my size, my strength, and my ability to defend myself. And even now, as a senior citizen, I still do the same thing. I go to the gym, I work out on the heavy bags, you know, the big.
You still box now?
I don't box with nobody. I just go hit the bag. I just want to make sure I still could knock your dick in the dirt if you F with me. I just want to make sure that I could protect myself. You see me now, I hurt my back, I'm carrying a little cane. Now I've got a big walking stick. Now if somebody messes me, I don't fight them. I take that stick and I whale your ass to death.
That's why I got the big cane, baby.
That's what I'm saying, to whale your ass, brother. And you've been by my house, I got a gun in every room. So I don't need to run to one room to get a gun. I got one.
It's in the room.
I don't need to do that. I got a gun hidden in every room. Every room.
You feel safe.
Well, because of what happened to me as a kid. You never get over that. You never get over that.
I'm lucky I never had to go through that.
Right, what she did. And this woman, I'm telling you, and I'm a man, I never got over it. But I was smart enough to put myself in a position where I say I would never let anybody physically abuse me again. Never. And I made it my man right then and there that I'm going to get big, I'm going to get strong, and I'm going to always be able to protect myself no matter how old I get. I got to be able to protect Tony Atlas. And the bad thing about that, it hurt me in the wrestling business, because when I wrestled against my opponent, if I felt they were trying to take advantage of me, that I cut loose. We were talking a while back about the Road Warrior,
right,
and my problem with Hawk. You know, Hawk brought that back. I figured here's somebody that is physically trying to abuse me in the ring. So once they did that, Lars Anderson, I knocked him out in the ring one time, because that feeling come back to me sometime when somebody tried to physically handle me. It comes out. I forget about the wrestling, I forget about the ring. All of a sudden I say, you're not gonna do this to me. And this poor woman, women are different than men. So they're gonna react to it in a different manner than where a man gonna react to it. My solution to the problem was developing something that people can't take advantage of, you know? Whereas in her predicament, I don't know what the defense that she gonna have, and if he abused her that one time, I bet you dollars to donut that child has seen some of the abuse. Because he talking about throwing it there, how are you going to be beating the hell? Where was the kid at doing all this going on?
That I don't know.
See, that's my
point.
point.
For hours.
The kid was in the house. The kid heard it. When my dad used to beat my mom, we heard it. We knew what he was doing. My dad was known for beating my mom until my mother got that 38, and she said. One day when she shot at him one day, and she said, your dad is the luckiest man walking, that bullets cannot turn corners. That my mom told us kids. She said, your dad is the luckiest man living, that bullets cannot turn corners.
Words to live by.
She was ready to take him away.
Mr. McDuffie.
And she told us kids too, she said, any one of you ever think about lifting your hand towards me, I brought you into this world and I would take you out of this world.
I like that line.
That's what
too.
she
I've
said.
heard
I
that
brought
one
you
before.
into this world and I would take you out of this world because she had gotten tired of the abuse. My mother went from 130 pounds, hourglass figure, to 280 pounds.
She got big.
Real big. She got that because she didn't want nothing to do with men's again. After my dad left, my mother never dated, never with another man. She was only with one man her whole life.
Wow.
My wife, Monica, after her first marriage, she wanted nothing to do with men until she met me. And I convinced her that all of us are not the same. And we've been married for 30 years, but my wife didn't start trusting me. She started trusting me the last 10 years of our marriage. 20 years.
Isn't it something? And I think
20
Tony,
years. At nighttime, sometimes you have to use the bathroom, you get up. My wife is sitting up in bed like this, looking at me. She was afraid to go to sleep around me.
Really?
Yep. We had to get separate. That's why I bought that big house. You remember? I told you my wife lived down. We bought an apartment building. I lived upstairs. She couldn't sleep in the same room with a man. She was afraid she fall asleep, I'd do something to her. And that happened to my wife in her 20s. And she was in her 60s and was still afraid to sleep with her husband. I had to get a building, because we went to buy a house. I saw this nice house. I said, look at a nice big bedroom. She said, we got to sleep in the same bed, same room? I go, yeah, that's what most married couples do. She said, I can't do that. She said, I get no sleep. She used to wait for me to go to the gym in the morning, because I'd get up at 5. At 5 o'clock, I go to the gym at 6 or 7. My wife would go to bed.
She'd go to sleep?
Go to sleep after I leave the house.
She would be up all night? Mm-hmm. Now, Tony, this might be a little bit too much of a personal question, and I hope I don't disrespect you, but
no.
Did it lead to intimacy problems?
No,
There was intimacy.
No, it's a sleeping part.
Sleeping? Really?
Yeah,
Isn't that
she
weird?
would wait for me to go to sleep, and then she would go and lay on the couch or something.
Wow.
But she would not lay next to me, and this went on for pretty much our whole marriage. And
it never corrected itself, or it did as she got older?
It's not as easy as, you need counseling.
Yeah.
That
needed
girl,
David Reese?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Pretty much. And after she had a stroke, I remember we was at the hospital one time, and she talked to me. She said, I should have trusted you. She said, I should have trusted you. She said, you're not like the rest. But she's got a fear of men. Because she got pregnant when she was 17, had a baby when she was 18, got married when she was 20, got abused from 20 to 23. Wow. So this it started at age 23. See, it started my mother when she was in her 30s. She had enough when she was 30. But men think that you could do this to women. And the abuser always feel that once the incident is over, you hear people say, "Oh, move on." It ain't as easy as people thinking it happened to you to move on
with
your life.
Do you think, Tony, nowadays there's less abuse?
No.
Or it's just not talked about? It's kayfabe.
It's not talked about as much.
It's kayfabe.
It's kayfabe. Because I got a lot of friends on the police department. And I got this one friend, used to work with Mario Savoda. You probably know him. His name is Paul Spencer. You had a little studio in Lewiston when Mario used to come up to Lewiston. And he'd do all the TV taping. He'd do all the TV taping for Mario with ICW. He did all the TV taping. Every episode you saw.
I bet you if I saw him, I'd recognize him.
You will recognize him and his wife. But anyway, I'm sure he don't mind me telling you this story. He was a police officer in Lewiston. And he lost his job over domestic violence. What happened was, it was this mixed couple, a black guy and a white girl, where the neighbor, he used to beat her all the time. Well, this one time, the neighbor just got so afraid that he's going to kill her, she called the police. So the police came, and he was beating this woman like you were beating a man. I mean, blood was everywhere. She was crying, trying to get away from him. He don't dislocated her shoulder. He cracked. The medical report said she had 2 broken ribs, a dislocated shoulder, and a broken jaw. Paul tackled the guy. The guy started fighting Paul. They fell through the window together.
Wow.
The guy went through first and got cut. Trial come. The woman testified against the policeman.
Wow.
Paul lost his job.
Wow.
They say that he did that, threw the guy through the window. She said he threw my boyfriend through the window. He's racist because my boyfriend is black. He didn't like the idea of a black man being with a white woman, which was not the truth. She stood up for her abuser. So that there tells me that these women don't have that type of strength. The state that people live in, the state should take over in cases like that.
Yeah.
Because some of these women, it's something about them that they just cannot. See, in order to get a woman in the position to abuse, the first thing the man had to do is destroy all of her self-dignity, destroy all of her self-esteem, where she feel that without him, she is nothing. Without him, she could never be with nobody else. Without him, so this man become her life and everything. No matter what he does to her, she feel. You see these programs, people laugh when they even Jerry Springer was asked, said, "This guy cheats on you, he beats you. What do you see in him?" "Oh, I love him." You hear this all the time. We say, "Oh, that's stupid." Wrong. It's something there that happened to an abused person. Because before you could abuse somebody, you have to first destroy their self-esteem. They have no self-esteem. A lot of women stay in a marriage because of the kids.
And that makes it more complicated.
That makes it even more complicated and they want to keep the family together for the sake of the kids. This woman got a kid, so she's looking for a stable environment. A kid, and she figured
probably thought she was getting into a good situation with a man that was worth several $million.
Several $1 million, TV star, nice looking, tall, handsome man, you know, everything every woman should want, but underneath all that beauty is a snake.
Yeah.
But she, no matter how many times the snake bites you, for some reason you keep buying snakes.
Even a situation close to home here at the studio. There was a gentleman, for the sake of television, we'll just call him Marvin. But
right.
He was trained in jiu-jitsu and several of the MMA disciplines, and he got into an argument with his wife leaving a pizzeria, I guess over, I don't know if it was leftover pizza or whatnot, right. And he grabbed her wrist and threw her on the ground and almost attempted to break her arm and was thrown in jail. So, I mean, you never know. It could even come from the most harmless seeming people.
Yeah. Well, I would tell any kid, I would tell any woman, the best defense against any abuser,
leave
and tell somebody.
And talk about it.
Tell somebody. Because when you don't tell, you enable this person to do things. Like the reason crime rate is so bad in minority neighborhood, because they got a saying, snitches get stitches.
That's right. Snitches get stitches.
Get stitches. So if you try to do the right thing, you are considered for being a bad person for doing the right thing. And so this criminal feel protected now.
Right.
You are protected, this criminal, because he know ain't nobody in the neighborhood gonna tell on me. I watch cops sometime on TV where there's a shooting. A black man is shot by another black man. Black people see it happening. When the cop go and knock on the door, I ain't seen nothing. I don't know nothing. I ain't seen nothing. And they saw it. The Bruiser Brody incident. They told him, when the police officer said, "Did you see who stabbed him?" Everybody go, "No, I didn't know what happened. I didn't see it. So that's why his murderer walked free. Nobody spoke up. So what you're doing, but it's hard for someone to do that. Especially, like you say, if it's children involved, and they got a house, and they got a life, and they got this, and this guy is manipulating this woman, making this woman feel less than what she is. And she don't know how to get out of it. There is no help for women like that. We need, as America, need to invest in spousal abuse and child abuse. We need to invest it. Now, the government got the worst solution for child abuse in the world. They come and take the kids away. That is not going to stop that abuser. He's going to go to another family and do the same thing. He's going to take them kids away. Go to another woman, do the same thing. Don't rip the kids out of the arms of the mother. Get rid of some of the bitch that is doing this to this family. Well, this woman can't fight no 250-pound man that don't scare the daylights out of her. And what is the government solution? Oh, we just take the kids out of that environment. But you leave the environment, you stupid piece of shit.
You're still leaving the environment.
The environment is still there for somebody else to walk into.
I almost wish we had David Reese with us right now.
Remove that person. Right. Not the child from the mother. Remove what they call that, the people that handle abused kids.
Social workers.
No, it's a name for them.
There's a name for them.
Yeah, the organization. But what of it is, that's why it don't go away. The perpetrator never get punished. The innocent child end up losing his mother. He end up losing his home. They take the kid out of the environment, but they do nothing to fix the environment.
Just imagine, worst case though, as bad as that situation was with that woman.
They would take the child away. Do you know that?
Yes. Imagine if he actually snapped and took that kid and left him in the middle of the street and he got run over by a truck and died.
You research this. I bet your daughter do not. They're trying to figure out how they can take them kids away right now.
Well, I'm going to tell you this, Tony, as we try and wrap up this episode. Sometimes we got to reel it back in. Maybe we'll find a little positive from a very negative story. As you know, Alberto Del Rio was involved with Paige in a very, very tumultuous situation. There was a lot of abuse going on back and forth.
He abused her too?
A lot of police calls involved and so on and so forth. The relationship finally did end.
And what Paige weighed? 98 pounds?
Exactly.
If that.
But you want to hear something maybe that'll make you feel a little good. This past week on social media, Paige said she's now been sober for 2 years. So maybe now she's finally moving past whatever it was that went on between the two of them. She needs to speak out about it,
what she should do. See, women need to speak up. I look back at my situation. I always wonder what would have happened to me. To me. And not only me, by telling my mom, you know my mom told other parents.
Yes, and maybe it helped other kids.
This guy was not able to touch any kid in my neighborhood because I talked, because I spoke up. If I kept my mouth shut, this guy would have went on, he would have sexually abused me, he would have sexually abused kids, and he went on for other and other and other and other. Just like in the church a while back, when they started talking about some of these child molesters, you got these grown people talking about it. You ever notice? Yeah. The people that talk about it, they in their 30s. And they got molested when they was 10. Which means this guy been doing this for the past 20 years.
Look at what happened with all the priests.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. When I listen to all the people that come out against it, they're only in their freaking 30s and 40s, which means they allowed this person, these victims allowed the perpetrator to continue perpetrating on innocent kids for centuries.
And look at the Boy Scouts.
For decades and decades of it.
I think they filed bankruptcy, did they not, the Boy Scouts of America?
Yeah.
I mean, the Boy Scout leaders and the priests, they almost looked at it like it was a buffet.
What? Look at Bill Cosby, the way he used to do drugs.
Well, they weren't little kids, but yeah.
But still, he abused women, he drugged them and abused them. How many years before they found
He wasn't giving him Jell-O, that's for sure.
That's what I'm trying to say. This guy got away with it. With him, there's no telling how many years he got away with this type of behavior. And the OJ, Nicole would have been alive today. All my sympathy go to the Brown family. But I truly believe in my heart Because when she made that 911 call, the last call she made, she said, you know who it is? It's OJ. I have called you guys 8 times. 8 times she called the police. And 8 times she refused to press charges. 8 times because a policeman cannot do anything unless the victim press charges. If the victim do not press charges, there is absolutely nothing a police officer could do. He cannot arrest this person even if he saw you abuse another person.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that.
The person got to press charges.
Well,
a policeman can't press charges for you.
All right, Tony, I'm getting the cue from the back. A very, not one of our most lighthearted episodes, to
You
say the
go,
least.
girl. You lock that good-for-nothing, dead-gum abuser up, because not only are you going to save the safety of your family, you're going to keep him from doing this. Because always remember, that was not his first rodeo. He probably started this as a child. This was not Roberto Del Rio first rodeo, okay? Most times this stuff started at a very early age. But he learned that he could get away with it because he knew that the
His
abuser...
celebrity status helped too.
He probably did it before he became a celebrity.
All right, well, wrestling fans, again, if you're in a situation like that, speak out.
Speak up!
If there are people in the business, and we've noticed this before, Tony, that ever find themselves in need of a situation where they need someone to talk to, the president of our organization, Dr. David Reese, he's a renowned psychiatrist. Feel free to Google him. He is available at no cost to speak to anyone within our brotherhood or sisterhood or fraternity, however you want to call it nowadays. So David Reese is a good man and a great resource. Hopefully we have more fun episodes coming up, but this was newsworthy. The fans wanted to know what you thought about Alberto. Hopefully.
Well, the story, like you said just a few minutes ago, what you just said, this story is not about Alberto.
It's about the woman and the kid.
It's about spousal and child abuse.
Yeah.
And that I bet you dollars to donuts. Dollars to donuts. Now I'm gonna ask all you women out there, write in to Dan and tell Dan if you experience any physical, verbal, or emotional abuse. Your name will not be mentioned.
Absolutely
We just like to
anonymously.
see how many of you are out there that is crying out for help.
You have friends in us.
You have friends here.
All right. Well, Tony, again, we want to remind the folks, Thursday nights, 9 p.m., Marty Jannetty, Wrestling Insiders. Friday night after SmackDown at 10 o'clock.
Racist Marty.
We have John Cena Sr. in his Thunderdome. You never know what's going on John Cena Sr.'s
I love
dome. And his piece.
I like him. He's my buddy.
And again, every Tuesday night at 9, it'll be me and Tony. We're preparing for a big 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks toy drive. We have so many great superstars that are going to be joining us here in studio for cyber events. We can't have a live wrestling event because of coronavirus this year.
I want a Barbie doll.
We have some really creative ideas to try and make our Paul Bearer drive happen. As we've already noted, Marty Jannetty is going to be with us for 3 days. Survivor Series weekend. I don't know if I'm going to be able to survive that one, Tony.
He's racist.
For the Hall of Fame and Mr. USA, Tony Atlas, I'm Dan Marotti. Until we speak again, folks, you and yours be well. More important, stay healthy. And again, if you do need help, if you're in a bad situation, reach out to someone that you trust. Speak out and good night.
Speak out.
Wrestling fans, the 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive Cyber Fanfest explodes into Christmas with interactive cyber autograph signings, live interviews, raffles, merchandise, and more. We were excited to bring you a wrestling event here in Boston, but we have the ability to bring a Cyber Fanfest to great fans like you around the world. Recent WWE NXT Cruiserweight Champion Lio Rush kicked off the drive with autographed photos and posters still for sale online. Let's run down the list of remaining remaining cyber autograph signings where you can get an autograph photo for yourself or to give to a friend or a loved one this holiday. Mail order for your items is also available. On Survivor Series Sunday, November the 22nd, Marty Jannetty will be with us live for a cyber autograph signing during the Farewell to the Undertaker. You never know what to expect with Marty in studio live. We're back Friday, December the 4th with the veteran former Nation of Domination member Savio Vega, a.k.a. Quang, making a rare appearance in Boston. Things are going to get nasty on Saturday, December the 5th when Brian Knobbs and Jerry Saggs, the Nasty Boys, join us for the very first time. A great chance to get the former WWE and WCW Tag Team Champions signed. Sunday night, December the 6th, WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas returns for a Cyber Christmas party during our NXT Takeover Watch Along. Tony will be signing autographs and will also have his art available for purchase. The following Friday, December the 11th, one of the most powerful superstars in wrestling history, the Warlord, joins us live in studio discussing his WWF run beginning in 1988. Saturday, December the 12th, the superstar undefeated for 2 years in the WWF, Native American Tatanka, will be with us supporting the toy drive. Then on Sunday, December the 13th, it's a double feature of future star superstars as recent Ring of Honor Pure Title Tournament competitor Wheeler Yuta joins us in studio for the first time after competing here in Boston Wrestling MWF, along with the man visiting us for the first time in 8 years, the new Impact Wrestling World Champion Rich Swann. And it wouldn't be Christmas without old John Cena Sr. with us live and in person as he's been working the phones on the North Pole. Again, autographs and all-inclusive VIP packages are on sale now at bostonwrestling.com. Help our tradition of updating Santa's GPS to find every kid's home this year while creating smiles and honoring the late, great Paul Bearer's memory. From our family to yours, happy holidays, Merry Christmas.